Libra rising. Let's go ahead and look at how Jupiter in Cancer is affecting you guys. It's been a while, but never late than never. Jupiter is sitting in your guys' 10th house after leaving the 9th house. I know a few of you, and for the most part, last year, while Jupiter was in Gemini, it was a period of time to learn and understand. It was definitely a period of time to try out a lot of different ideas that actually were going to lead up to this. During this year, to launch a safe space for the spiritual, the metaphysical, because you guys have a 6th house that is Pisces. And so during the square of this energy, it's been a lot of chitter chatter about what am I doing? How do I make it bigger? And if you've already been in this space, what is it that I can do to continue making what I do every day a reality? If not, diving fully into it. And so Jupiter, having left that 9th house, was to take a chance and a risk. And believe it or not, you guys do like to take chances or risks because your descendant is in Aries. And a big majority of you guys just don't know no. You don't know no as an option. So you typically tend to push and push till what might be a no becomes a yes. And I admire and respect that. I think it's a really cool thing that you guys do that. One of my biggest cautions, though, is that after Jupiter leaves the 10th house and it starts to move into the 11th, 12th, 1st, which are pretty good transits, be mindful that you don't forget the main plot of this 10th house, this 9th house, and the 8th house. It is to create something long term. And I stress this because Jupiter only does more. And too much of something cannot be good. And when I look at your 10th house, I think to myself, wow, Jupiter in the 10th here is going to keep rising and rising and rising. And if you get really, really successful, don't let it go to your head and don't let it become a reason why you have to justify not necessarily being better than people, but just, forgetting the main mission, which is what you were taught in these 2 Jupiter cycles. Now, outside of that, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, and the exaltation in your 10th, the 2nd, and the 6th is very good for that next step that you're looking for. Maybe you find yourself completely switching your career into something that you never thought was possible, but simply doing it because of the fact that you don't really have to. Or maybe you find yourself not even working on a career because there's just so much that is carrying you over to not even thinking about the finances, or you've been lucky or endowed in that sense. Either way, it's a good time for you. And the Scorpio 2nd house is, that is of itself always something that you guys have been working towards. I say wherever you have Scorpio is where the karma that you need to realize but also work through presents itself. So Scorpio in the 2nd house is all about making sure that you are building your treasure chest in that 8th house. And why am I bringing this up? Because the 2nd, the 10th, and the 8th come together to start the next phase of Pluto in that 5th house. I think that you guys should do the spiritual practice because, and I will be making a Pluto video. I know it's been forever, but I knew that the signs were going to retrograde and I got shit to do. And these videos are really a setup for next year when the signs are fully there, besides Jupiter, because it'll be pretty much gone by next summer, but the other ones will be here for a minute. And so I'm a Taurus rising and I'm going to take my time. As a fellow Venusian, you understand. Well, actually, no, because you guys don't have chill. But the 6th house encourages everyday things. And while the North Node is sitting here and Pluto has entered your 5th, little tidbit about that, this is supposed to be getting you up and moving. I know a few Libra risings, and some of them during Pisces, when Saturn was in Pisces, got health issues that forced them to leave their environment to actually get up and get moving. They told me that they would not, and they refused to do anything. And I'm like, you don't have to tell me that. I'm not the one who calls the shots here. Whether it's Sky Daddy, the Spaghetti Monster, or Ariana Grande, again, whatever created us has put us in this never-ending loop that we have to break out of. And so your soul wants to break out of that every day. You have it nice and tight and cozy, but it wants the everyday to be changed. That is where I believe the Jupiter squaring that Pisces really made it so it was a bunch of issues to deal with. Now, let's say you're a Libra rising and you have a lot of Virgo. No bueno, because this is going to be a very difficult transition. All this Virgo is not letting you let stuff go, and Virgo needing to control, their favorite word being I know, and not fully letting things play out because of good pattern recognition. 12th house being your subconscious. Having a 12th house in Virgo during this transit of Jupiter in Cancer is good. But in the grand scheme of everything else, the transitions that could be happening, you need to teach that 12th house Virgo the ability to just close its eyes. And that is where, when I speak about Saturn and how it, I think, is a messenger of hope, it comes in and it tries to clean up things 2.5 years at a time so that Pluto and Aquarius doesn't completely bulldoze you over and wreck your life. I will be talking about Uranus in a separate video, but a quick little recap on that. Uranus is coming in and saying there's more. You thought Jupiter was a lot, but Uranus is like, no, there's more actually. And so Jupiter in this small period of time is going to start to show you that you can have exactly what you want career-wise. You can reap the benefits that you want, and you can also keep it spiritual without compromising your integrity. No longer living in the paradigm of corporate capitalism America with Pluto leaving Capricorn. Anyway, you guys are pretty much short and sweet. Like most of you Libra risings, you're short and sweet. So thank you so much for watching. And now let's segue into some self-promotion. I just wanted to update some stuff. Haven't been able to fully set up my Patreon. I should. I'm going to be competing in a show, and once I finish, I'll be able to divert my attention, well, first on a break, but then also to astrology more. And so therefore, I think during that period of time, at the end of this quarter to next year, I'll be able to start building it up with videos. But in the meantime, I mostly just have Instagram for some updates daily, TikTok for some videos of things that I find interesting, and I will, I got time. So long as YouTube exists, I will be slowly adding videos, going places and recording, and speaking about positions. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope Jupiter in Cancer gives you everything you want and more.